Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Glory Warhammer 40k video. In today's episode, I come to you, my people, the strength in my arm, the holders of my dreams. I come to you on my knees. I prostrate myself before you, and I must apologize. I was wrong. I was so very wrong. The longest time I lived in ignorance. The longest time I held a belief that was wrong. Wrong. Many years I believed that the Hellhound was a bad tank, only useful in one or two places, maybe as a lone wolf unit. But I have come to my senses. I have come to learn the error of my ways. And I don't mean to alarm you, but I think the Hellhound is not only not a bad unit, it's actually a downright great unit. And I had to stop myself from putting them in every single goddamn list. You know what, boys? Let's not mess around any further. Let's mount up, roll out, and drive right into today's episode. Good news, everyone! Warlord Games is now an official sponsor of the Mordian Glory channel. Warlord Games are the creators of the fantastic World War II game system Bolt Action, along with many other incredible tabletop games. And they have been kind enough to give the Mordian Glory channel an affiliate link. If you follow that link down in the description below, not only can you get your hands on some truly awesome models, but you will also be supporting the channel. A massive thank you to Warlord Games for supporting the channel, and now let's get back to the video. So before we get into what changed my mind about the Hellhound, let's just take a brief moment to remind ourselves about what this unit can do. Hellhounds have got a movement value of 10 inches, toughness 10, a 2+ save, 11 wounds, leadership 7+, and objective control of 3. This gives them a decent amount of movement, able to keep up with the rest of the guard armor, whilst being surprisingly durable. Autocannons and other light anti-tank are going to need 5s to wound them. That 2+ save means that unless you're hitting it with AP -2, it's going to have a 2+ save when in cover. And 11 wounds means that damage to things just need that little bit longer to get through its wound pool. And I really like the fact it's objective control 3, because that will allow you to sneak away objectives away from unsuspecting enemies. As standard, the Hellhound comes equipped with an Inferno cannon, although you could swap that out for a Chem cannon or a Melter cannon, and it also comes with a Heavy Flamer, which you can swap out for a Heavy Bolter or Multi-Melter. And for free, you can strap on a Hunter Killer missile. It's also got the handy Flush them out ability, which allows you to remove cover from an enemy unit that you have shot at and hit. Now, to be fair, the Hellhound has had this stat line and had this ability since the beginning of the edition. So what has happened to change my mind? Well, the first thing's kind of funny. I realized that I had overlooked a small yet really important change to the Hellhound's Inferno cannon. You see, the last time that I had used the Hellhound regularly was with the Guard 8th edition codex. Now remember that the 8th edition codex wasn't just for 8th edition, it actually lasted us nearly all of 9th edition as well. This meant that we went for well over 5 years with the same codex, with the Hellhound having the same Inferno cannon. But there was a change that was made in 9th edition that carried over to 10th edition. That change was the Hellhound's gun went from AP -1 to AP -2. Now that might not seem like such a big deal, but it makes a huge difference in the damage capabilities of this unit. Firstly, the Hellhound's Inferno cannon ignores cover. So unlike so many other weapons, which like AP1, AP -2, which kind of struggle the moment the enemy's in cover because, you know, either you're not removing their save at all or you're only slightly damaging it, Hellhounds can take Terminators and whether they're in cover or out of cover, just kick them right down to their 4-up invulnerable save. This opens up a whole new spectrum of units that the Hellhound is actually effective into. Previously, it was good at killing light infantry because making people roll like 3-up saves just wasn't really going to do very much. And when you had like Armor of Contempt out there as well, there was chances that even if you did hit something like an elite unit like this, that it was going to be on a 2-up save anyway. But now that it's got AP -2, I know it sounds crazy, that's taken me a year to realize this, but it's all just occurred to me when I was using like 3 Hellhounds in that banking time list, right guys? Now that this thing is AP -2, it means that it can not only threaten light infantry, in fact it just completely cooks them, but it also can actually go into heavy infantry and super heavy infantry as well. Even custodies don't really want to get hosed down by a Hellhound, because they're going to be on their 4-up save and they've only got 3 wounds. And so if you stack enough flames onto them, you're going to be able to burn everything from just guardsmen and their equivalent all the way up to some of the premier infantry in the game. And the thing is, Hellhounds can do this for a really budget price point as well, because as per the latest balanced data slate, Hellhounds have gone down to a very enticing 115 points. And let's just put that into perspective for a moment. You pay 115 points for a toughness 10, 2+ save, 11 wound vehicle. That is insane that you can spend so few points on getting such a good level of durability. And then you've got the damage output as well. And between the Inferno Cannon and the hull weapon that you can get, and you could go for like a heavy flame if you really wanted to burn, baby burn, or you could go for a goddamn multi-melter. Now sure, it's only going to hit on 4s, but with the new lethal hits that the Guard get with newborn soldiers, and I know I've gone about that a lot, but it's a really, really big change. It means that you don't have to worry so much about the strength 9, and it adds 2 AP -4 shots as well, giving the Hellhound that little bit of extra flexibility, giving it some proper anti-tank punch. And you might think, but Mordian, it's like 2 melter shots, what's the big deal? You're thinking about this in terms of taking 1 Hellhound. That was the traditional way of using them in the past, right? Little lone wolf Hellhounds sneaking up the flanks, all that kind of good stuff. No. I'm now putting 3 Hellhounds in my lists. Triple Hellhound gives you an insane amount of burny, and those multi-melters and those hunter-killers start adding up as well. And all of that, 3 Hellhounds for 345 points. I could take 3 Hellhounds and 3 Vanquishers and still have well over 1,000 points to spend on the rest of my army. That's all the infantry, command vehicles, everything that I could possibly want in my army, and I'm able to really just overwhelm the enemy with the amount of armor I'm placing on the board. And this ability to overwhelm people with armor is the new Guard meta. At the beginning of 10th edition, the go-to armor pool was maybe 4 Leman Russes. Maybe you take a Rogel Dawn, a couple of Leman Russes, and then you'd have like 1 Hellhound, try and bulk out your armor pool. It was either Hellhound or it was a Hydra, right? But either way, you were getting like 4 medium tanks or a heavy, a couple of mediums, and a light. But now, you're not taking 4 tanks. Most Guard armies are going to battle with 5, 6, 7 vehicles. You can go into battle with 3 Leman Russes, 3 Hellhounds, and like I said, have so many points left over. You can have 6 Chimeras on top of that. Last Guard army list that I ran had 13 vehicles in it. Now, to be fair, that was a mechanized army list, but even my hybrid Guard armies these days are going into battle with like a minimum of 6 vehicles plus infantry and artillery, and a big part of that motor pool are Hellhounds. But the last thing that's got me hot for the Hellhound is its ability to solve one of the issues with the new Guard meta, which is order bottlenecks. GW wants us to take lots of tanks. They keep lowering the points on them. But the problem is that there's only so many orders to go around. You can take the Lord Solar, but he's 240 points. And then you have to take a tank commander on top of that, and you are looking at costing 460 points for just 5 orders. That is almost 25% of your army just on those characters, and then that really starts cutting into where else you want to be spending your points, like on your infantry and artillery and other things. The great thing about the Hellhound is that it does not need order support, especially if you take it with the Inferno Cannon and the Heavy Flamer. It doesn't need move. 10 inches is fast enough, and it's got an 18-inch range on that Inferno Cannon, so it only needs to go forward a little bit and it can start burning things. It doesn't need take aim because it automatically hits with pretty much all of its guns. The Hellhound can just operate on its own or in a wolf pack, and it doesn't need to be babysit by orders. That means you can put 3 of them in your list, and then you can take the Lord Solar or a tank commander, but not both. You don't need both. And then you can put 3 other vehicles into your army, and that's how you get your 6 armors, and yet all of them have got orders or don't need orders. It just makes your list that much more efficient, and it saves you points which you can then spend on just getting more stuff into your army. So bringing all of this together, I am now very much on Team Hellhound when I wasn't before, because of the changes to its AP, because of its decreased points cost, because of its ability to operate independently, and because of its ability to support the new burgeoning guard meta that we find ourselves in. I think it is bringing a lot to the table and is a valuable asset for many guard army lists. But of course, all of this is just like my revised opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Are you a fan of the Hellhound, or do you still think it leaves something to be desired? And if you are on Team Hellhound and you've been telling me over the last year or more that I should have been looking at Hellhounds, that they got good, and I ignored you or I disagreed with you, then please use this as an opportunity to lambast me down in the comments section. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to immolate that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing, truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members, so thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.